We bring in Sunday Night in America host Trey Gowdy, former federal prosecutor and House Oversight Committee Chairman. Trey, always good to see you. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Do you agree with the vice president on what he said there, Trey?
I agree on scale. I think the scale is larger than we've ever seen it before. But, you know, Martha, I was on the floor of the House when Obama said, "I'll do it with or without you." That's not a really great thing to say in a tripartite republic where you have three different branches. And, of course, Republicans took Biden to court over student loans and COVID mandates and vaccine mandates. So it's not new that the party in opposition, if you can't win at the ballot box, it's not new that you go to the courthouse. Where I do agree with the vice president is on a couple things. The scale is larger. If you look at there's a lot of judge shopping going on, Martha. There's a reason they picked the districts. The real question I have, you know, Vice President Vance has been in two of the three branches. It was his old branch, the Senate, that confirmed this judge 96-0. Okay, I'm not great with math, but that's pretty overwhelming. 96-0, this judge was confirmed. So if you don't like judges, why don't you do a better job vetting them on the front end and not wait until they issue a ruling that you take exception to?
So in terms of the way this law is being used in and of itself, do you agree with the interpretation that the White House has that this is an invasion of sorts and that these people are dangerous to the country, so as a national security measure, they need to be ejected?
Yes. But I would add this. The president should not have to use a 1798 statute. Think about that for a second, Martha. A 1798 statute. I mean, you're more likely to be talking about pirates than you are criminal gangs. You've got ISIS-K, that's not a country. You've got the Taliban, that's not a country. You got cartels, you've got these gangs. So 1798 is really the most recent thought we've given to the fact that something could be an invading force that's not actually a country in name. If I'm President Trump, I am frustrated that I'm having to use a statute that is that old. We've had 20-something years of cartel violence in this country, and we've had about 5 years of this influx, this massive influx of immigrants. And you mean to tell me Congress has not had a chance to amend that 1798 Act? Not yet? So, yes, I think it's the only option he has. But it shouldn't be the only option he has.
Yeah, but doesn't it work? I mean, do you need a new law if the law that's on the books works? And when you talk about an invasion of our country, I mean, I think about 9/11 and, you know, ejecting members of ISIS or people who are sympathetic to al-Qaeda. That is law, right? I mean, if someone presents a national security threat to the country, we can eject them.
No doubt. But if the statute refers to a country or a nation, then yes, you have to amend that statute. Because Osama bin Laden wasn't the president of a country. That wasn't a country declaring war on the United States. So yes, I think he's using the only other option is to wait and leave them in American prisons until they have a deportation hearing. So he's got two options: let them sit here or let them sit in an El Salvadorian jail, and we can debate whether or not we're safer with them sitting in one of our jails than one that Pablo Escobar built for himself.
Let me ask you.
He's doing the only.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I mean, I think this is definitely a situation where it's like it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, and he wanted them out of the country, and then you deal with the courts later, seems to be what they're doing. What about the argument that some of those who were deported had asylum court dates, and people are disputing that not all 200 and whatever of them fit the description of members of this gang? What do you say to that?
I say good luck with your asylum hearing, and you can wait for it while you're in El Salvador or whatever country you're here from. I would change the law. Who says you get to hang out in Houston, Texas, and wait on your asylum hearing? I mean, first of all, to claim asylum is just to have written across the front of your shirt, "I'm in fear of my life." Right. I mean, asylum has become a joke. As long as you utter certain talismanic words, you get a hearing. You know what? You can wait for your hearing in another country.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it used to work. The closest country that you could get to
the way it should work.
outside of your own country, where you could find safety. And we know that 80 to 90% of asylum claims don't hold up. So, Trey Gowdy, thank you very much. Great to have you here today, as always.
You too. Thank you. Yes.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.